What's up guys, Aaron here, back with another video. Today's video is the full review of the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Welcome back, and before we get into the review portion of the video, let's get more familiar with the device. The Galaxy Fold has two displays. The front is a 4.6-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1680 by 720, and the interior screen has a 7.3-inch dynamic AMOLED polymer display with a resolution of 2152 by 1536, and let me tell you guys, this is an amazing screen. On the right side are the volume up and down buttons, the dedicated Bixby button, as well as the fingerprint sensor. And on the left side is our SIM card tray. On the top is a speaker, 4 antenna bands, as well as a microphone. On the bottom is another speaker, 4 more antenna bands, a microphone, and our USB Type-C charging port. Located on the back is a triple camera system with a 16 megapixel and two 12 megapixel cameras. The 16 megapixel is a f2.2, being an ultra wide lens, and the first of the 12 megapixel cameras is a f1.5 to 2.4 and is a wide angle or standard lens, if you will. And the second 12 megapixel camera is a telephoto lens at f2.4. And also included with the Galaxy Fold is a carbon fiber case. Now it's a pretty decent case, however, I will be getting a third-party case. I have been looking at Urban Armor Gear's case, the Monarch series to be exact, and that's supposed to be coming out here real soon. I will give you guys an update once that case is released. Samsung also includes a pair of wireless Galaxy Buds, which are some incredible sounding earbuds. The Galaxy Fold comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor with an Adreno 640 GPU. It's running Android 9 VIP with Samsung's One UI skin on top. You also get 12 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage, and a 4,380 milliamp hour battery that features 15 watt fast charging, 15 watt wireless charging, and a 9 watt wireless power share feature. You also get Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, USB Type-C, a fingerprint sensor, dual speakers, and of course a folding display. Now that we've gotten more acquainted with the device, let's begin the review portion of the video. Like with any device, there's things that I like and dislike about the Fold, so let's first begin with the things that I don't like, then we'll talk about the things that I do like. The first thing that I don't like about the Fold is the price. Now the Fold is extremely expensive. Now you do get a lot for the price tag, which we'll be talking more about later in the video. However, yeah, RIP wallet. The next thing that I don't like is the fragility of the device. The Fold is a fragile device, and I find myself needing to be a little more careful than I would with our average device. Now, I've used the Fold in terms of everyday use, and I have to say that I do try to treat it like a normal smartphone. However, when I do open the screen, I do tend to realize and remember that I need to treat the interior screen a lot differently than I can the outside. The outside has Gorilla Glass, while the interior is a polymer screen, so you have to be very careful with it. But let me make that clear that the interior screen is what's really fragile, not the outer portion of the device. So when it's in your pocket or when it's in a bag, it's just like any other smartphone. Now we're not talking about the IP rating or being out in weather and stuff like that. I'm saying inside of an actual bag and placed away in your pocket, it's going to feel like a normal smartphone when it's closed. With that being said, I do wish it was a little more robust, and I'm sure they're working on that in future generations. The next thing that I don't like is the size of the outer screen. The outer display is a 4.6-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1680 by 720, and it looks great in terms of clarity, and I do know why Samsung made it this size. Anything bigger than this and it would kind of look a little awkward in my opinion, so I do understand why it is this size. However, I would like to see a bigger screen somehow. Now obviously I can type on the screen and like a few posts on Twitter, but other than that, I unfold the screen for the bigger display, which I believe is what Samsung intended you to do anyway. Now that we've gotten the things out of the way that I don't like about the Fold, let's talk about the things that I do like. So the first thing I like, is probably obvious, is that the screen opens and folds, giving you the best of both a smartphone and a tablet experience. I think that alone is a huge selling point for the Fold. Being able to unfold a 4.6-inch display into a 7.3-inch display is an amazing feat and a great leap in technology. The next thing that I like is the display. So the first thing I thought when I found out that the Fold had a plastic display was that we'd be sacrificing a good-looking display for the ability to fold the device. But I was absolutely wrong. The Fold features a 7.3-inch dynamic AMOLED polymer display with a resolution of 2152 by 1536, with a PPI count of 362 and looks absolutely amazing. It's extremely responsive and very vibrant. I have to say that Samsung did an excellent job on the display on the Fold. The next thing I like are the cameras. So the Galaxy Fold has 6 cameras, so on the front, when the device is folded, you have a 10 megapixel camera with a f2.2 aperture. Opening up the Fold, you're presented with 2 more cameras, a 10 megapixel camera and an 8 megapixel camera, and on the back is a triple camera system. As I mentioned earlier, we have a 16 megapixel camera along with 2 12 megapixel cameras, and I have to say that main camera shoots some awesome photographs. The sharpness, clarity, and contrast look absolutely amazing. I can't say enough about these cameras. They look absolutely amazing. The pictures come out looking great, and the video camera is amazing. In 2019, cameras on smartphones are very important, and I think Samsung delivered great camera quality and video camera quality with the Galaxy Fold. The next thing I like is the battery life. The Fold has a 4,380 milliamp hour battery, which is excellent. I took the Fold off the charger at 7 a.m. this morning and had 39% left at 9 p.m., and that's with heavy usage. Now, since the Fold has 2 displays, it also has 2 batteries, which is a definite advantage for the Fold over other smartphones. The next thing I like is the ability to truly multitask. Samsung says the Fold can run 3 apps at once without a hiccup, and I have to say that that's absolutely true, and I actually got 9 windows to open up at once on my Fold. The next thing I like is that the Galaxy Fold has Flagship Specs. Now I mentioned the specs earlier, however we'll touch basis again on some of the important ones. So we have the Snapdragon 855 processor with an Adreno 640 GPU. It's running Android 9 VIP with Samsung's One UI skin on top. Now we also get a 4,380 mAh battery with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage, along with a ton more items. So the Fold definitely has flagship specs, and for the price you should be getting flagship specs. Now that we've talked about the pros and the cons about the Fold, let's just talk in general about the Fold. So the device comes in Space Silver or Cosmos Black. Now I initially wanted the silver, and Samsung makes a beautiful silver color. However, upon further inspection, I noticed that the silver version has a silver back and a black front, which looks extremely odd when it's unfolded. With that being said, I went ahead and decided to go with the Cosmos Black. Now I contacted a Samsung representative to speak with them about the Fold, and they said that they've been waiting on the Fold for about 6 years, and they said that the first screen replacement is $149 and $599 each additional time thereafter. The fingerprint reader is in a good location. I personally like under-display fingerprint readers, however I understand why that wasn't possible with the Fold. Now something else not yet possible with the Fold is the ability to use the S Pen. Again, I understand, however the ability of the S Pen would make this phone nearly perfect. Next I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions that were asked of me on Twitter, and if you haven't followed me on Twitter, I'm at TechWithAaronHD. And the first question is, what's the return policy for the Galaxy Fold? And the answer is, at all 3 locations that you can buy the Galaxy Fold from, which is AT&T, Best Buy, and Samsung, I contacted all of them and they all said it's the same as normal, which is a 14-day return policy. Next is a series of questions. So the first is, how does it feel in the hand with its thicker depth while folded? And the answer to that is that it feels great. I mean, it feels extremely solid. It's a little thick, of course, because it's like holding 2 smartphones together. But again, it does feel really solid, and it's a good experience. The next question is the notch annoying? And to be completely honest, the screen's so big that you don't really feel like it's intruding in your content. So I'd have to say no, it grows on you. Next is, does the small front screen feel useful or disappointing? Now, in my opinion, the front screen is still useful. It's perfect for dialing a number or maybe liking a post or something. Other than that, I do tend to find myself unfolding the device. The next question is, how many times can you open and fold the device consecutively without breaking it? Now, normally I wouldn't be able to answer that question. However, Sina ran a test exactly like that. Now, this was done with a machine, and the goal was to reach 200,000 folds. However, the device broke at 120,000 folds. And the last question was, how are the speakers? And I have to say that they sound excellent. I've had no issues with the device. The speakers have sounded great in portrait and landscape mode. And lastly, before I officially end the video, I want to talk about how Samsung can improve the next version of the Galaxy Fold. The first thing Samsung can do is improve the display from polymer to Gorilla Glass. Now I know that's easier said than done, and I'm sure they're working on that, and that would not only improve the durability of the screen, but also introduce S Pen support, which is the only thing that this phone is missing. Also, with the addition of the glass, we would most likely also see a decrease in the visibility of the crease. Next, Samsung can increase the outer screen size and make the screen a little wider. The outer display is small but usable, however increasing the length and width of the outer display would be great. Now the last thing Samsung can do is just make the entire phone more durable, which I'm confident they will. And lastly, my final thoughts. I think Samsung made a very crucial impact with the Fold series. Foldable phones were bound to happen since phones are getting bigger. Now it was just a matter of which company was going to be first to invest a ton of money into the tech and be first to release a foldable phone. Granted, you are paying a hefty price tag, and most likely it's due to the fact that you're getting the first innovation and first tech. However, to me, that's extremely important because I like being on the cutting edge of technology. Speaking of that, the Galaxy Fold isn't for everybody. The Fold is definitely for somebody, like I said, who wants to be on the cutting edge of technology and have the latest and greatest. Now, once I picked up the Galaxy Fold, it made my other phones, my iPhone, my Galaxy Note 10, my Galaxy S10, feel outdated, which should tell you something. Now, this is extremely innovative, and this is something that I definitely see Samsung as being pioneers and leaders in the tech industry in terms of the smartphones. They are true innovators now. They have surpassed Apple. I know they surpassed Apple years ago, but now I can officially say that they have surpassed Apple. In terms of innovation, it seems like Apple has lost their innovation and are more worried about profit margins than they are in being pioneers in the tech industry. I think it's rather comical that Microsoft wants to launch a Duo or a foldable phone, supposedly, when it's just a clamshell design and it's not truly a foldable display. And it's not launching for another year, which in another year, Samsung will have blown that away. So it's really comical to me that Microsoft is trying to supposedly release a foldable phone. However, that's just my opinion. The Fold is truly cutting-edge technology and is also an absolute powerhouse and is the top of the food chain. With that being said, this phone might actually be the phone to get me to switch from iOS to Android, which no phone in the past has ever gotten me to remove my SIM card from my iPhone to put in to a Samsung or Android device. So that's huge in my book. I've been using iOS and an iPhone for 12 years, so for me to switch over to an Android device is going to be a huge game changer for me. Now I haven't fully decided on that, however I am heavily leaning that way. I will give you guys an update and bring a new video to your sub boxes, so make sure you are subbed and have your notification bell turned on. Now with all that being said, if you're interested in the Samsung Galaxy Fold, go out and grab one, or go out to a Best Buy or a AT&T and try to check out one of the models inside of the store and see how it really feels to hold it in the hand and open and close the device. I'm definitely keeping my Galaxy Fold. I will not be returning it. I'm a happy Galaxy Fold owner. Now I hope that I answered all your questions that you had about the Samsung Galaxy Fold. However, if I didn't, please leave your questions down below and I'll answer them for you. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to drop a like rating down below. Also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of future content. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Aaron and I'll see you guys on the next one.